Hey guys, it's your girl Sage. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night whenever this video finds you. I'm here with our daily bread. And for today we have Psalm 37. The heritage of the righteous and the calamity of the wicked. Do not fret because of evildoers, nor be envious of the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass, and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and feed on his faithfulness. Delight yourself also in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord, and trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. He shall bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your justice as the noonday. Rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Do not fret because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who brings wicked schemes to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Do not fret, it only causes harm. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those who wait on the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall be no more. Indeed, you will look carefully for his place, but it shall be no more. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked plots against the just, and gnashes at him with his teeth. The Lord laughs at him, for he sees that his day is coming. The wicked have drawn the sword, and have bent their bow, to cast down the poor and needy, to slay those who are of upright conduct. Their sword shall enter to their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. A little that a righteous man has is better than the riches of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholds the righteous. The Lord knows the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord, like the splendor of the meadows, shall vanish. Into smoke they shall vanish away. The wicked borrows and does not repay, but the righteous shows mercy and gives. For those blessed by him shall inherit the earth, but those cursed by him shall be cut off. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. I have been young, and now am old. Yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his descendants begging bread. He is ever merciful and lends, and his descendants are blessed. Depart from evil and do good, and dwell forevermore. For the Lord loves justice and does not forsake his saints. They are preserved forever. But the descendants of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell in it forever. The mouth of the righteous speaks wisdom, and his tongue talks of justice. The law of his God is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide. The wicked watches the righteous and seeks to slay him. The Lord will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged. Wait on the Lord and keep his way, and he shall exalt you to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, you shall see it. I have seen the wicked in great power, and spreading himself like a native green tree. Yet he passed away, and behold, he was no more. Indeed, I sought him, but he could not be found. Mark the blameless man, and observe the upright, for the future of that man is peace. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together, the future of the wicked shall be cut off. But the salvation of the righteous is from the Lord. He is their strength in the time of trouble. And the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about it. If this is your first time tuning in, or if you've been subscribed for a little while, then you may know how I feel about the Psalms. I quite love the Psalms because the Psalms remind me of music or poetry. With that being said, when we read the Psalms, that the Psalms could be read in a like manner. And actually many of them are even read aloud with music being composed alongside them, very much mimicking what our modern music or poetry is even nowadays. And I say all of this because, just like music and poetry, that the Psalms are also written for all different seasons of life. We have happy songs, sad songs, romantic songs. We have poems about nature. We have poems about hardships, about death. All of those could be intermixed as well. What I'm trying to say here is that in the same essence that music and poetry captures these different areas and seasons and emotions that come from life, we have that here in the book of Psalms. And I say this because I think it's very significant that David himself wrote this psalm. I say that because if you guys are familiar with the story of King David, then you know that he was persecuted by Saul, his best friend's father, both of whom he loved, by the way. He loved Jonathan more than the company of a woman, but he loved his father very much as well and respected him as king over Israel. But even he was persecuted by him for, I believe, up to 16 years. And, and that hurt him. But nonetheless, he still chose to choose God. He still chose God. He still chose God's righteousness. There were opportunities where the Lord God had actually delivered Saul into his hand. He could have killed him, and he would have had every right to do so. But he didn't, because he trusted in the Lord God, and he did not want to touch the Lord God's anointed. Even if the Lord God had removed his hand from him, he saw him as the man that the Lord God had anointed. And by killing him, he would have forsaken righteousness. So he didn't. And I say this because he went through a lot of persecution, and not to mention, he's also gone through his own son persecuting him for, I believe, somewhere, I want to say it's either 3 or 5 years. But his own son had persecuted him as well. His own son had gone into his queens. His own son, one of the 3 of his children that died before he even grew old. I'm saying all this because David's gone through a lot. And despite everything that King David has gone through, that did not cause his hope in the Lord to waver. That did not cause his love for the Lord to waver. David had even done some things against the Lord. For example, he didn't do it out of spite for the Lord, but he did technically sin against the Lord when he took Bathsheba for his wife, killing another man in the process. But as soon as he was convicted for it, he repented. As well as when he, towards the later years of his life, had accidentally made a head count of all the fighting men, and by doing so had shown a lack of faith in the Lord God. He immediately repented. So none of anything that King David had ever gone through had affected his trust and faith in the Lord God. So much to the point that he had even written this psalm. And we actually can see here that right here in Psalm 37 verse 25 that he's grown to see all of this. I'm going to read Psalm 37, 25, and 26. I have been young and am now old. Yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his descendants begging bread. He is ever merciful and lends, and his descendants are blessed. And throughout this psalm, he's speaking about how the wicked might, for a moment, get away with what they've done. But ultimately, it is the Lord God's plan that prevails. A man may establish his steps, or a man may plan his steps, but it is the Lord God that establishes them. That anything that we do that is outside of the Lord God's will, it's in vain. That the laborers who build the house without the Lord God's hand in it, the laborers work in vain. That it is only through the will of God that anything truly comes to bear fruit. In a way, this actually reminds me of an old, really bad joke of the competition between the scientist, atheists, and God. And the atheist, he confronts God and says, hey, technically you only need, I think, 72 elements and you can make a man. And God goes, okay, do you want to challenge me on that? And he goes, yeah, actually, let's do it. So he starts gathering ingredients and God stops him and says, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I made those. You have to make them yourself. And basically reminding us all of fear of the Lord, that it is the Lord God where all good things come from. It is the Lord God where everything that we've come to know and enjoy, they're all from Him. Whether it be the simplest things, such as elements on their own, or fruits and vegetables that are only produced by His will. We may till the land that the Lord God has blessed us with, but it is truly only by the Lord God's hand that anything grows. And I say this because technically when somebody puts a plant in the ground, technically what they have to do is they put a seed in the ground and they water it and they wait, or they might wait for it to germinate in a napkin first and then put that sprout in the ground. But what I'm trying to say here is that it is the Lord God that causes that plant to grow. It is not done by humans. Humans may take a hand in partaking in the growth of that plant, but it is only by the Lord God's will that a plant should grow. And at any time, that plant could also die. Just like us. Our lives are just as futile as plants. And I just say all this because I just want to remind us of fear of the Lord. But this is a very optimistic psalm that speaks on the experience of one who did not have these types of psalms to fall back on. His faith was so great that he had taken the times of affliction and adversity that he had gone through, and he turned them into written testimonies that we ourselves have been blessed with to this very day to have during our times of adversity and affliction and hardship. So it really is a shining example of the Lord God. This comes from Genesis chapter 50, verse 20, that what was intended for evil was repurposed for the saving of many lives. I don't know about you guys, but I feel that sometimes the Psalms give me hope during times of hardship, and I'm hoping that they bless you with hope and faith in the Lord, a reminder of the Lord God's goodness during times of adversity and affliction for yourself as well. And just a reminder of this man's written testimony of just how faithful the Lord God is in protecting His children. That the weapons may form, but they will not prosper. That it is the Lord God's will that prospers. It is the Lord God's will that comes to pass. And to trust in Him during all seasons of our life. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this word up here. I'm praying that this message has blessed someone. And if it did, feel free to like, subscribe, and until next time, I hope all of y'all take care. Bye-bye.